When I first settled into Willow Creek, all I wanted was a quiet spot by the water, a place to breathe after 30 years of Navy life salt in my hair, blueprints in my hands, and the hum of ship engines in my dreams. I'd built my life on structure, on knowing the rules of the sea. But out here, on this little lake tucked behind dogwood trees, I thought I'd finally found peace. My dock, nothing fancy, just cedar planks and a bench I'd sanded myself, was my sanctuary, where I'd sit with my coffee, watch the herons glide, and let the world settle into my bones. I wasn't looking for a fight. Hell, I'd spent my career avoiding them, keeping things steady, but trouble has a way of finding you, doesn't it? It came in the form of Linda Grayson, the new HOA president who rolled into the neighborhood like she owned the lake itself. She'd bought the big glass house 3 lots down, the kind with floodlights that never turned off and a security camera that stared at you like it was taking notes. I didn't pay her much mind at first, live and let live, But then the letters started showing up. The first one was polite, almost sneaky, tucked into my mailbox with a smiley face on the envelope. Your dock may not meet our updated aesthetic standards. Please contact the HOA for an inspection. Aesthetic standards? My dock had been approved back in 2010, when the HOA was just a handful of retirees who cared more about potlucks and power trips. I dug out my old email signed permits, a thank you note from the old board chair, even a damn diagram of the pilings. Everything was in order, but I called anyway. No answer, just a voicemail that sounded like it was recorded in a windstorm. I emailed too. Crickets. A week later, another letter arrived, this time with teeth. Dock usage suspended pending review. Do not access until further notice. Suspended? I stood on my porch, staring at the water, my rowboat bobbing like it was mocking me, and I felt something I hadn't in years: anger, sharp and cold like a blade in my gut. This wasn't a mistake. This was a move. I walked the lakefront that night, slow, past Linda's house with its manicured lawn and that damn camera blinking red. My dock was the only one with a neon orange tag flapping in the breeze, like I'd been singled out for a crime nobody else knew about. I ran into Pete, a retired mechanic who lived across the cove with his mutt, Rusty. You get a letter about your dock? I asked. He squinted, shook his head. What letter? My dock's fine. Then he leaned in, voice low. Heard Linda's been griping about equity of access at the board meetings. Says your inlet's prime real estate. Equity of access. The words hit like a warning shot. This wasn't about rules, it was about control, about her wanting to redraw lines that had been set long before she showed up. The next morning, I was out on my deck, oiling my bench, when I heard heels clicking on my gravel path sharp like gunshots. That guideline came after my dock was built, I said, calm but firm. It's grandfathered in. How about the paperwork? She froze, just for a second, then smiled that tight, corporate smile. Do you? I'll need to see that. I didn't flinch. Happy to email it. Again, she didn't like that. She crouched, snapped a photo of the pilings, then stepped onto my dock without asking, her heels clacking like she owned the place. You know this lake's common property, right? She called over her shoulder. HOA controls the shoreline. I stepped closer, voice steady. Not true. My deed includes the water line, and the lake bed's mine up to the boundary. County Code 14C, riparian rights. You can look it up. Her smile faltered, but she recovered fast. We'll see about that. Safety's a concerno, handrails, old wood. Could be a liability. She was fishing, and I wasn't biting. It's my liability, I said. Not yours. She left without another word, already on her phone before she hit her driveway. That night, a new notice was taped to my doorknob envelope, just a sheet of paper screaming authority. Dock usage prohibited. Violation code 4.2.1. Unsafe structure. Unsafe. I'd built that dock to withstand storms, hurricanes, you name it. This was personal now. I called an old Navy buddy, Tom, who'd spent years doing coastal surveys. Mark your boundaries, he said. Stake the pins, get a camera, and don't let her set foot on your land again. So I did survey stakes, a motion cam, and a sign, private property. No trespassing. I wasn't playing her game anymore. But Linda didn't stop. I came home one afternoon to find my dock roped off, yellow nylon like a crime scene, and a sign, closed for safety inspection. No inspection had happened. No notice, no call. Then I saw it me rowboat gone. The rope was cut clean, drag marks in the mud leading to tire tracks. My blood boiled, but I didn't touch the rope. I took photos, videos, time-stamped everything. This wasn't about a dock, Anna Maria. It was about her thinking she could take what's mine. I dug into the HOA bylaws, 40 pages of fine print, and found gold. No enforcement on pre-existing structures without a county inspector's report. Linda had no thing-yo vote, no inspection, just her own ego. That's when I got to work. I pulled out my old Navy charts, sketches from a project in Panama submerged barriers for erosion control, legal and invisible unless you knew where to look. I designed a crescent of river rock, just beyond my dock, within my legal water boundary. Nothing to sink a boat, just enough to make a point. I called in a favor from Quarry Guy, hired 2 local kids, and by dusk, we'd built granite and stone, blending into the lake bed, marked with buoys for the county, but subtle, quiet like me. Days later, Linda announced her big HOA lake party wine, music, her shiny new cruiser gliding across the water to impress some real estate hotshots. I didn't go. I sat on my bench, watching her boat gleam under the sunset, her in a peach dress, waving like royalty. She pointed my way, laughed, probably thinking I was sulking, but I wasn't. I was waiting. Her boat cut across the lake, fast, showy, straight through my inlet me boundary. I stood, hands on the railing, as the hull hit the rocks. A crack echoed like thunder. Her boat lurched. She stumbled. Her champagne glass shattered. The crowd gasped. Phones came out, filming. The driver reversed, scraping metal on stone. And Linda's facio, her face was pure shock. She looked at me, and I just stared back, arms crossed, letting the lake speak for me. The party fell apart. Her boat limped back, dented, scratched, pried in pieces. By morning, the neighborhood was alive with whispers videos on the community Facebook page, comments piling up. Linda didn't show her face, but she sent another letter, accusing me of endangering the community with an unpermitted hazard. Unpermitted? I filed every paper, GPS stamped every rock, cleared it with the county. I called Tom again, now a lawyer, and he laughed. She's got nothing. Let's bury her in truth. We hit back hard counterclaims for trespass, theft, defamation. Neighbors started talking. Pete got fined for his mailbox, Sarah for her garden gnomes. We rallied, shared stories, built a case. At the HOA meeting, I stood up calm and laid it out me doc my rights, her lies. Linda tried to spin it, but the room turned. You stole his boat, someone yelled. You find my kid's lemonade stand, another shouted. She screamed her raw, desperate sound, then stormed out, binder crashing to the floor. In court, it was surgical. Tom presented the permits, the bylaws, emails from Linda saying, he doesn't deserve that dock. It's prime real estate. The judge, a no-nonsense woman, didn't blink. Case dismissed, she said. HOA to remove all encroachments and pay costs. Linda, deflated, walked out like a ghost. Her house went up for sale a month later. The chain came off my dock the next day. No note, just gone. Neighbors started showing up, coffee, chats, a kid sketching the lake. Someone nailed a sign to the post. Callahan's Quiet Cove. I didn't ask who. I didn't need to. The lake was ours again, not hers. I got a letter from Linda, handwritten, saying she let power make her small. I tucked it away, not for forgiveness, but as a reminder. Power unchecked turns people into shadows of themselves. Now, I sit on my bench, coffee in hand, watching the water ripple. The fight wasn't just about a docket, it was about standing up when someone thinks they can take what's yours. But here's the thing. Was I too hard on her? Did I go too far with those rocks? I don't know. I protected what's mine, but maybe there's a line between justice and revenge I'm still figuring out. What do you think? Drop a comment. Tell me where's that line. And what would you have done if it was your dock, your piece on the line? Hit subscribe if you've got a story like this side. Love to hear it.